Okay, so I have my big sturdy piece of plywood that I'm going to be using as the headboard. Got it cut at Home Depot to the specifications of the metal frame. And I experimented over in this corner with several lines to see kind of, what angle I wanted to use for the frame of it. And the one that I chose is the one with the X's. And then I replicated those dimensions, like the end-to-end measurements of those lines in this corner. And that's what I'm going to be cutting off with my jigsaw. And the jigsaw is something not to be afraid of. It's really easy to use. It's this little baby right here. Got it from Home Depot as well. Just have someone help you figure out which blades you need if you can't decipher it on your own. Alright, here you go. Okay, so here are the blades that I'm using. I have to use the U style. So if you look here, you see where it says U shank. I think you can see that. I don't know. And basically, the thickness of the wood and such is going to dictate also what types of blades you use. It's really easy to install it in the jigsaw. There's like a little lever here. You lift up. You insert the blade from the bottom, and then you let go, and then just check it to make sure it's in there straight and good and strong, and then you're ready to go. You just gotta plug it in if you have a power cord one, or sometimes you have a battery one. Just make sure it's nice and charged. Right, so both of the sides are cut out, and this is what we have. We measured on both ends to make sure that it was, bless you, looking pretty even. And we're happy with the cut, and now it's time to take it to the next level, which is the batting and the foam project. And that's my crazy daughter. She helped me to cut this. Don't worry, I'm not showing your face. She helped me to cut it. I'm proud of her. She got to use a power tool for her first time. Okay, so we got the batting attached. It's double layer up front and came out real nice and sharp on the sides. And next is the foam. We're going to glue the foam onto the edging, like so. Okay, so I'm currently up in my office, and I've been working on the foam pieces. This is the left side of the headboard, and this will be the right, with the little cutouts. And then here I'm doing the strips, so they're 2 inches wide. So I just kind of like measured 2 inches along, and then I drew a straight edge from the dots and got that. So I'm going to need 3 of those lines, so I got to cut 3 strips. And I tried a rotary cutter, it just didn't go deep enough. The scissors were a little bit problematic, but this is working well. This is like a carpet removal tool, and this is made by Stanley. It's got like this can fold in anyway, and I just use it to kind of go right along the line and just kind of follow it. I'm on top of a self-healing mat, so be careful, the surface that you're on, but it's been working well to cut through the foam. Okay, so we moved our project indoors, one because we were freezing, but also because we wanted to eliminate all the excess like dust, leaves, and debris that was flying in the wind. And as you can see, I have the foam edges glued on, and I used this Crafter's Companion tear mender crafting adhesive. It's awesome. It takes about 3 minutes, and this is been about 3 minutes or so. It's definitely on there, good enough to where I need it, because once the fabric goes down and the fabric is stapled, we won't have to worry so much about the foam moving. It'll be pretty well on there. Alright, so the next thing we have to do is kind of build up this center with more batting, because we want to be able to create a tufted look, and as of right now it's not going to be very tufted. It's not billowy enough to have that tufted, pillowy look, so that's what we're working on next. So I have some bags of Glimmer Snow Blanket, and this is the exact same material as like your fiberfill and your batting. It's polyester, and the difference is that this just has lots of glitter built in. And I had gotten this from the Christmas clearance section after Christmas 2013, and I think I paid like 25 cents a bag, which, was a steal, because this is, like I said, just like the fiberfill batting stuff. So I'm going to use this to build up my center, and I think that 3 bags should be more than enough, but I guess we'll kind of gauge it as we go along. I'll do 1 layer at a time. And the nice thing about it is kind of in layers. So it's not just fiber material that's like bunched up, it's actually smoothed out in layers. So 3 of those bags laid out looks like this. And I know it looks a little bit bunchy, but we spread it out as smooth as we can. And I know that once the fabric is stapled down, it's gonna cover up a lot of that kind of lumpiness. And then of course, it's real nice and plush too now. Sitting down with my fabric that's spread out over the headboard. It's a black, kind of a fake velvet, I guess I should say. So what I'm doing is stapling along, let me see if I can find my hand, the foam edge. So making sure I don't staple the actual foam, just as close to the foam as I can get it. And then I'm making sure I also have enough fabric to get it behind the board and then stapled and secured. So I know you can't see much, it's dark, but basically get it as fitted to the side of that foam as possible. And it's gonna hide pretty nicely. Although I may need to still put like some nail head trim or something, or maybe some beads, depends on what we feel like doing. So that's what I'm gonna do. First I'm going to trim on the inside of the foam. Once that's all done, then I'm gonna do the bottom. And then I'm gonna stand it up and I'm gonna do the sides and the top. So that's the order in which I'm going in, and that's to make sure that this stuff doesn't shift around on the inside. All right, and I didn't staple the batting that was added on top down yet for a very specific reason, because once that's stapled down, it's going to create like a tufted look, and I don't want to have that just anywhere. I want it to be in certain positions. So yeah, you'll see when I show you the next step. Okay, so I'm making buttons to adorn the headboard. And I've got these done so far, and this is what I'm using. It's a product that you can cover your buttons with the same color fabric as what you're working with, and there's instructions on the back. It shows you how to, make the buttons work or whatever. And then there's like a little circle right there that's a template for, you can barely see it, it's like a dotted line like right around here. Okay. So this took a while, it was very tedious, but I have a grid made using some Scotch tape, and this is for the purposes of where to place the buttons. I used a laser level, a couple rolls of Scotch tape actually, a straight edge like yardstick, and then a stop tape measure. And I had to figure out how many buttons per row, how many rows, and vertically and horizontally I figured out like how to space it. And then I just went and placed the grids. So where every line interconnects, it's going to be on the right hand side and above the tape as to where the button's gonna go. And you may do it differently. This was just the way that came to me, but nothing's going to be exact. This is the tedious part, because if you're not careful, you can end up putting a button a little, off kilter, and it could throw a lot of stuff off. So just be real careful and don't be afraid to pull it back up and do it again if it looks crooked. All right, so the next part's going to be tricky, but I'm confident it'll come out okay. Okay, it's kind of hard to see, but what I did, which is kind of like a little trick if you don't want to actually do like the process of tufting something, is I used a staple. Instead of running a button and thread through the hole in the area. And what it does is it really presses down on the fabric and the batting, drives it into the wood, and creates like a tufted, billowy type of appearance. So we did a diamond pattern here. It's hard to see right now, but we got a row of 4, then a row of 5, then a row of 6, then a row of 5 again, and a row of 4. And so what I did was I kind of alternated the rows. And again, you can't really see it just yet, but like on the row of 6, I hit the corners of every square, because that's how many corners that we had, was the 6. And then on the 5th one, I'd skip. So I didn't do it here, so I did it here. And I wouldn't do it here. I know it's kind of confusing, but basically it allowed me to do the diamond pattern. Okay, so we've attached the headboard to the frame using a single screw on each side and a drill. It was very simple to do. It just took a little bit of extra effort to push it through the batting and the fabric. But make sure your drill is good and charged and you won't have any effort or any issues with the effort. It's a really dark fabric and there's really no shine. I picked that style of fabric on purpose so that it wouldn't compete with this crazy busy accent wall. So yeah, unfortunately, even if you zoom in on it, it's just not going to show much detail because of the fact that it is as dark as it is. When you're in person looking at it, you can see like the border and the tufted buttons and stuff. You just really can't see it. On video, it's not picking up. But anyway, I'm really proud of my daughter for working on this with me, for taking the plunge with using a jigsaw and a power stapler, and just being along for the ride. You know, it's something to take pride in when you do it yourself. I'm really happy with the way that it looks in the room, with the bedding especially, and look forward to enjoying this for many years to come.